There is one problem that affects over 50% of active people over the age of 50. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal what it is and how to solve it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today we're going to be talking about the one problem I see all the time that causes a lot of misery for active people over 50. Now, the problem I'm talking about is called quad dominance. And basically it means you have very strong muscles in one part of your leg at the expense of the muscles elsewhere. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how this issue can cause a problem in a moment, but just to sort of let you know who suffers, it's more common in people over the age of 50, it's more common in men than women, and it's much more common in people who are active. So gym goers, walkers, runners, they're all going to run the risk of suffering from this problem. Now, if you do have this issue, some of the signs might be knee pain, back pain, hip pain, and pains in other areas of the body too. So now I'm going to show you exactly what quad dominance is, why it causes so many problems, and most importantly, how to fix it. So the problem we're talking about that affects so many active people is quad dominance. And these are your quads. They're the muscles that live at the front of the thigh, and they're very important leg muscles. And for many people, they're very strong, especially people who work out, walk, run, or cycle a lot. Now, the other muscles you've got on your legs that are equally important are your glutes. And these are the muscles that live at the back of the hip. Now, the quads and the glutes, they work as a team. So when we walk, they both contract. When we squat, they both contract at the same time in order to push you up. Same when you lunge, and also when you do things like leg press or other machines in the gym. Now, the problem is when we're using our leg muscles, what should be happening is the quads should be doing 50% of the work and the glutes should be doing 50% of the work in the optimal setting. But most people end up with very strong quads and their glutes become lazy and weak. And this means that their quads end up doing 80% of the work and the glutes are only doing 20. Now, you can tell whether you suffer from this problem because if you do a hard workout, the next day, if it's just your thighs that ache and not your glutes at all, you probably have quad dominance. And in the extreme, this problem can lead to back pain because the glutes are not used to working, so the back is having to try and pick up the slack. And it can also lead to knee pain because the quads are contracting so hard that they're putting a lot of pressure on the front of the knee. So to fix this problem, doing more squats, doing more lunges and walking more is not going to make a difference because the quads are just going to do all of the work. So what we need to do are isolation movements that just work the glutes and not the quads at all, so that when you start doing your big movements like your squats and your lunges, your quads are doing only 50% of the work because the glutes are taking up the rest of the slack. So I'm going to show you 3 exercises that are glute focused to help your lazy glutes kick back in and start working again. It's just important to note that these exercises are not suitable for everyone. Make sure you get checked out by your doctor before you give them a try, and they're not provided to fix any medical problem or to replace the advice you get from a healthcare professional. Anyway, let's have a look at the exercises now. So the first exercise we're going to do to wake up those lazy glute muscles is the banded hip abduction. And for this to work, you're going to need a resistance band like this. It doesn't have to be very strong because when we isolate this muscle, for most people, it's quite weak. So what we're going to do is slip the band around both of our ankles. So we want the band just above the ankle bone, and ideally to do this exercise you're going to turn and face a wall just so you've got something to put your hands on. Now we're going to work one leg at a time, and to show you this I'm going to work my left side here. So all of my weight is going to go over onto my right leg, and keeping a nice straight back I'm going to take my leg out to the side and ever so slightly behind me. Now the reason I'm going out and backwards is because if I just go out, sometimes I'll end up drifting forwards, and guess what tries to help me? That's right, the quads and the hip flexors. So that doesn't help us at all. So we need to isolate the glutes. So again, up tall, onto one side, and then out to the side and behind. Now you can see here that as I take the band out, it's quite hard when it gets there, even though I haven't got much resistance. And that's because I'm definitely isolating that muscle. And the way I'm doing that is firstly by keeping a straight back. Secondly, by the direction of the movement. But thirdly, if you can see what my foot's doing, I'm trying to turn my foot inwards so the toes remain facing forwards. So if you watch my foot, the toes are always pointing forward. So I'm going to feel like I'm turning my leg inwards. And I'm doing that deliberately. And the reason I'm doing it is because the glutes are also internal rotators of the femur, which means that they do this movement. They turn it inwards and they take it out. So I'm doing both of the things they were designed to do. And at the end, I should have an ache in my glutes here. It should be the area just below the waistline. And you want to do this exercise until it feels like they're a bit tired, and then you would swap over and do the other side. And that would look like this. So standing up tall, putting all my weight over to my left, keeping my toes pointing forward and taking my right leg out and behind. So again, out and behind. And again, out and behind, like this, until I start to get that nice working ache in this muscle here. Now at the end of the set, I shouldn't feel anything at all at the front of the leg. That should feel totally fine. All the ache should be at the back here, and that's when you know you've isolated your glutes. Now before I show you the next exercise, I just wanted to mention that 88% of people who watch these videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If that's you, go down, hit the subscribe button. It is totally free, but then you'll be the first to hear about our new videos as soon as they come out. So go and do that now, and then I'll show you the next exercise. So here is the next exercise to help you isolate the glutes and beat quad dominance. Now this is called the modified clam, and it's a great exercise to do just before a gym workout or just before you go for a walk or a run, because it's going to activate the correct muscles and take away some of the work from the quads. So to make this exercise work, you lie on your side. What I want you to do first is straighten out both of your legs. Now you're going to try and get your legs in line with your body, so you're like a pencil. And then we're going to bend that top knee. Okay, so we're going to bend the top knee until we've got our foot hooked behind the straight leg at the bottom. And you're just going to let your leg drop over in front of you like this with the knee resting on the mat. Now we're going to make sure our upper body's in the correct position. So we're just going to put our hand flat and lean forward into that hand. So this is the setup like this. Now the exercise is simple. All we're going to do is keep everything still, but just lift that top knee up towards the ceiling like opening a gate, just until we start to feel a squeeze in the buttocks, and then slowly bring it back down like this. Okay, so the only thing we should feel is this muscle here. So again, up, open like a gate, just until we feel like we can't go any higher without leaning back, and then coming back down. So it's really important here that you don't roll back as you do this exercise. You should stay in one position with your body. It should just be that leg moving. Now this looks really easy, but it's actually quite difficult. And if you're doing it correctly, quite quickly, you'll start to feel that glute activate at the top leg here. And it will feel like it's tired probably after about 8 to 15 repetitions for most people. I'm going to show you how to do that on the other side. So for this, you would roll over. Again, both legs are going to be straight. You're going to bend that top knee, hook it behind your knee like that. Put the hand flat, and then we're just going to lift that top leg up and then come back down again like that. So again, the leg is rested, then it starts to move, nothing else moves. And I should feel this just in this muscle here. Okay, you can see I'm a little bit further forward than feels natural, but it's just that top leg that's doing the movement. So again, work to about 8 to 15 of those in a row, and try and do that a few times per day. You'll feel that only your glutes are working. The quads shouldn't have any kind of workout whatsoever, and it's a great way to start to get the glutes kicking in. Now after you've done that, you can do another similar exercise to help the glutes work. And this is the one that's probably most advanced, because in people who do this incorrectly, it does start to activate the quads and the hip flexors, so the technique needs to be spot on. So again, we're going to set up in the same way. We're going to lie on our side with our legs straight, everything in line, and then we're just going to roll forward again into the hand. This time both legs stay straight. Now we're going to take this leg up and behind us as high as we can without feeling the lower back start to squeeze. So if you feel the lower back switch on there, just bring it down an inch until the lower back relaxes. Now, once you've got your leg as high as you feel you can without the back kicking in, we're just going to start to do small circles in the air. So I call this the hip abduction circles, or hip circles if you like. And we're basically going to keep our heel as the highest point. So we can see again that we're doing that internal rotation of the leg to activate the glutes better. And that tiny little movement is almost like an isometric movement of the glutes, but it really starts to get them kicking in. And I reckon I've been doing that for 15 seconds now, and I can feel my glutes already start to get a little bit fatigued. So you're just going to take it to the point it starts to feel tired, then you bring the leg back down, rest for about 10-15 seconds, and then you can go again and lift up, make those little circles at the top, just doing it until it starts to feel tired. After you've done 3 of those, you're going to roll over and try the other side. So again, everything stays straight. We start with the leg straight like this, put the hand down just to support you. You're going to take the top leg up and behind, keep the heel the highest point, and then tiny, tiny little circles at the top, like this. So I'm not sure if you can see this muscle here starting to contract and having to activate in order to keep my leg up, but I don't feel this at all at the front of my legs. The quads have switched off, and it's the glutes that are doing all of the work. So after you've done that, that's going to be a great way to get those glutes kicking in. A bit of persistence. It takes probably about 3 months to fix a nasty case of quad dominance, but it's such a worthwhile thing to do if you're an athlete, if you're someone who's very active. Having just dominant quads and no glutes is a recipe for injury, so fixing it should be a priority. So that's all about quad dominance, which affects active people over 50. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please do drop a comment below and let me know how you got on. And if you want to get more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next video.